Hi everyone. Today's Thursday. Here I am, Lucy, and so welcome to the weekly Thursday interview. I have an awesome guest today. I can't wait for this interview to start. But before we do start, if you are joining us live, would you down below in the comments write hashtag live, and if you're watching the replay, then hashtag replay. And do tell me where you're coming from. Tell us where you're coming from. It's always so interesting. As you know, I'm in Mexico. My guest today is from California. We'll find where in California. And also, if you want to comment, would you please allow StreamYard to use your name? There's a little strip above there that you'll see. Just click on that and allow StreamYard to use your name. Otherwise, you come up like a Facebook user, and we don't know who you are, and so we do want to chat with you, and make your chat obvious. And if you simply would just want to react, then just either a thumbs up. But you know what we like? We like those hearts. So give us some hearts. Okay, so the next thing is usually how I met my guests. So I met my guests online, and I guess I'm going to have to tell you one more time that I meet the nicest people online. I mean, I have made great relationships, great friendships with people online. I never used to think of that 3 years ago, but boy, have I learned since then. And so my guest and I met well, actually, we have the same business, personal spiritual coach, Maya Comerota. And so I met Lesley, I may as well say her name, Lesley, in one of Maya's program. And so I've known her for very, very little time, like 2 months, but I seem to know a lot about her because she has just recently launched a book. So she's an international author. And so I knew a lot about that. And she has a wonderful story. The other thing that we have in common is look at her name. Rosas is her last name, and Rosa is mine. So somewhere along the way, we may be related. I don't know. I'm always fascinated by names. So without any further ado, let's meet Lesley Sanders Rosas. Hi, Lesley.
Hi.
How are
Hello,
you?
Lucy. Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for inviting me.
Well, thank you. I know how busy you are. Oh my God, I know how busy you are. I mean, you have so many hats. The first thing that stands out about you is you're a mother of 12 children. I can't, that's very unusual. I
Yes.
grew up in a family of seven. That was very common back then. But 12 children today, wow, that's really unusual.
Mm.
So I do want to talk about that because you wear so many other hats. You're a doula, and we're going to talk about that because that
Mhm.
word is fascinating to me. You're an artist. You're a
Mhm.
storyteller. You're definitely a mother of 12. You're an author of a best selling book, and you're a coach. So we have so much to talk about. I don't know where to start. Let's start with uh, did you always want to be a mother?
Yes, I did. I really wanted to be a mother. Yeah, had my dolls. I had my little brothers, and growing up, I just knew that I always knew I'd be a mother.
Oh, great. So tell me, but you didn't expect to be a mother of 12 people,
Oh
right?
no,
Uh,
no, 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 no.
12
I never
children.
expected that.
So could you tell us a little bit about your background? First of all, I want to know where in California you're coming in from.
So I am in Garden Valley, and we're just above Coloma, which is where Sutter's Mill is, where the gold rush started. So I live
Ah,
like 7 minutes above the river, where we still mine for gold here.
I know. I've been there. I love it. It's
Okay.
fun to mine for gold. And
Mhm.
and look at what you're doing. You're mining for some different gold
I
today.
sure
It's
am.
it's a different gold rush, and it's all
Yeah.
in your hands, and that is so exciting for me to talk about. So, so you're in California. Were you born there?
Yes, I was born in Humboldt County.
Okay.
Yes, near the ocean, born
Okay.
and raised there.
All very pretty,
Yes,
wonderful
beautiful.
country,
The
don't you?
Avenue of the Giants. I used to stand to catch a school bus.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So tell me, um, tell me what happened where, tell me a little bit about your background, your education, where you grew up. You grew up in Humboldt. It's hard to
Yes.
say that. Humboldt County. How was it growing up there? Because that's way up there in California.
Oh my. So I grew up out in the country,
Okay.
in a little town called Shively.
Okay.
And in Shively, every year the bridge would wash out when the river rose, and we take a country road, a windy, windy country road to get to
All right.
school. It was so far back in. My mom was a school bus driver, and the little tiny bus, those smaller buses parked in my yard. But before the bus, we used to take a little 2-man boat across the river to get to school.
Oh my God. How
So
cool.
from the age of, I think I was 6 when we moved, where I rode the boat across the river, had a little life jacket, had a little rubber bag for my books, and when we get to the other side, we change out of our rubber boots and into our school clothes and walk up and catch the school bus to school.
Oh, that is so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, for children, that is a fun thing to do. I mean, better
Yes.
than walking to school. And then your mother, it takes a whole village to let this happen. So your mother being the bus driver and everything, I just love it. It's like everybody got involved because it was such a
Yeah.
small place, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
so when did you leave there, and where'd you go from there?
I left. I married my first husband the weekend after I graduated from high school. I was 17,
Wow,
and he
very
was in the Navy. We got stationed on Oahu in Pearl Harbor.
oh, cool.
And yeah, that was the beginning of the journey.
Okay, so you ended up now, you ended up in a community, a Mennonite community, right? I don't know much about Mennonites, but I thought you had to be born into that community.
Yeah, no, they let people in.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was 25. I had 5 kids by then, and
Hmm.
it was my husband's desire to join the Mennonite Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So was his whole family involved in the Mennonite?
No, none of our families were involved.
Okay. So, they live such a different life, and so can you tell me a little bit about how, how they live their lives? I mean, it's kind of strict, isn't it?
Yes, so they have standards, they call them, and
Mhm.
much like Amish. The
Mm,
Amish, actually, Mennonites come off of Amish. So if you know Amish, people
I do
generally
know.
know
Yeah.
Amish.
Yeah.
Amish don't have electricity, and they don't drive cars. Um, they're horse and buggy, and
That's cool.
they're
I think that's
mainly
cool.
there's few small differences as far
Mhm.
as like they don't have zippers and they don't have buttons on their clothing. So
Wow.
the Amish women pin their clothing, like pin their clothing shut.
Right.
Mennonites are a little more free, but they
Mm,
do have dress standards. So you wear the same dress, the
mm.
same pattern year after year. You sew all of your clothing, especially the women. Um, they have standards for what color cars you can drive, solid, all one color cars, standard for just how you live and how you conduct your life. No TV, no radio, no musical instruments, a cappella singing only. You don't go to amusement parks, roller skating. You're not involved in the outside community. You stay very isolated in your community.
Yeah, but it's really interesting as I'm hearing you talk, a lot of folks want to go back to those times. They've, no TV, no, so because kids today are, with their phones, the parents are with their phones, the kids are with their phone. You see them in restaurants. So there's kind of I want to go back to those times, And of course, people think no electricity, and people think that's exotic now, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of hard work. I'll
it's a
just
lot
say
of
that.
hard work. Yeah.
So
It's
imagine, I'm pregnant, I'm
uh
morning sick. So I would get really badly morning sick and throw up. And I've got a baby in the pack. I've got
mhm.
toddlers at my feet. And I'm out in the field, I'm out milking the cow, I'm out feeding the chickens. I'm out gardening and harvesting. I'm canning. That's the lifestyle. We're out butchering our animals. That's the lifestyle that you live. And in
Right.
between, you're sewing your clothing, you're making your cheeses. Not that we wouldn't buy that stuff too, but it's a very frugal lifestyle, and it is a lot of work.
Well, so it sounds like a lot of work, but look at all those. I'm thinking, look at all those skills that you
Oh,
have.
absolutely.
Oh my
Yes.
God. So
Yeah.
you gathered all those skills. So when did you leave that community? Where did you go from there?
I left 12 years ago.
Okay.
There came a point in my life where the abuse in my home was so great that I left with my kids in a 10-man tent. And at that point, we lived in Pennsylvania. And so we drove across the United States to California, took my kids, and worked to get a restraining order, worked to get custody of my kids, and was able to accomplish that.
Well, that is, where did you get that courage? I mean, that takes courage. I mean, it could not have been an overnight kind of decision, you know?
Well, Lucy, it actually was. I was praying for a way of escape.
Okay.
I had hoped that the Mennonite community would help our situation, because our situation, nothing happens in a day.
Right, right.
But it had become more of a tool to not help. And there came a point where it was the question of, do I stay and most likely die in my home, or do I go? And the day before I decided to go, I had an Amish friend who she and I had a similar story, and we had been sharing. And another friend called me and said and told me that her husband had killed her.
Oh my God.
And I thought, that's going to be me. That's going to be me. That could be me. And that was the kind of the fuel I needed.
Was this kind of common in these communities? I mean, I have to say I'm so, don't know much about this. And so is this kind of common?
Is it common? It's more common than you'd like to know. You'd like to think it's more common, but
yeah,
I'm not here to. There's beautiful people in those communities.
Sure, of course.
Loving souls, and people who choose to live that way. Amazing. It's an amazing lifestyle.
Right. Oh my God. So that, our Facebook user, I think it's Debbie. Debbie, you can click the little tab that says StreamYard and let them use your name if you want. So I think, our Facebook user here is saying, oh no, what a pivotal moment for you. So it certainly was a pivotal moment. So, okay. So that's all really very intriguing, and it's so courageous of you. So where did you go from there? I mean, so you escaped with 12 kids. I mean, oh my God. I mean,
yeah. After I got my restraining order, I got custody of my kids. We had been staying at a campground, and I got us a place to live in my hometown where I had grown up, not out where I had gone to high school.
Okay, and
yeah, what was your question?
No, but so you went back home, kind of, so to get.
I did, yes.
Family.
Yes.
Did your family know that you were having such a difficult life back there? I mean, obviously, it sounds like you were on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was, and it was one of those situations where you become, when you're in an abusive situation, you become very isolated. Your abuser isolates you, and that's part of the whole story. But my mother was actually instrumental in me leaving. Wow. And her words to me were, what will happen if you stay? And I said, he's going to kill us. And she said, what happens if you leave? And I said, well, if I leave, he might find us and kill us. Right. And she said, well, why don't we try to leave? Oh, wow. So, my father wasn't aware. My brother had come to visit and had informed my mother of what was happening and what he'd witnessed. And she was instrumental in giving me the courage and the idea to go ahead and go.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. So so from there, you obviously had to establish yourself. And and having 12 children, how did you support yourself?
I started my own business. It's one
Okay.
thing. I had established child support, but child support was $100 short of my rent.
Okay.
You can imagine, rent for, I had 8 children at that time with me.
Right.
It's expensive. But I started an in-home sewing business since I was homeschooling the children and
And you knew how to
in
sew.
the community. Yes,
Yeah.
I do know how to sew. I hadn't altered many wedding dresses, but I had altered other clothing. So I soon became very popular for altering and repairs, and got a lot of business sewing the patches on for firefighters and
Right.
California conservation. And yeah, it all came together. And the children knew if I was able to get the work done, then I'd have money to take them roller skating on the weekend. So they helped.
So they help you. It's like, oh, mom. Now, Debbie says that's a true entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right? Start a business, homeschooling and sewing for others. That's for sure.
Yes. Well, I always had this saying, when you have a big family, you have to get by sometimes financially. And I always had a saying that to say, like when I needed something, what do I have in my hand? What skill set do I have? What do I have in my home? What can I use?
Right.
And it's amazing when you get that mindset of what do I have in my hand? You
Well,
can find something that'll work. There's always something.
Absolutely. I hear coaches, and it's been told to me too. It's been asked of me. Start with what you have. What is it you have? Look around. What's your skill set? And so you got to know where you are before you know where you're going. So knowing all this, you are now a coach. I mean, why coaching? I mean, obviously
Oh my
you have a
goodness.
mission. You have a mission. Yeah. And so I want to know what that mission is.
Yes. So I remember my walk in through darkness, my definite walk through darkness where all the color was just drained out of my life. And I remember thinking, where is there someone that could help me? Where is there someone that could tell me what to do? Where are my tools?
Exactly.
And I came up empty-handed. Aside from, my belief in God, I came up empty-handed. And since that time, as I've gone through transforming myself, I have become so passionate in my heart for women who are in the shadows. They're in the shadow work. They're in the darkness, and they're wondering, where's my help? What can I do?
Right.
Exactly. I'm like, over here, honey, over here.
Right.
I've got answers for you, because I took myself through it. I took myself out of it. I took myself through it. I took myself through healing, through reinventing who I wanted to be, through really seeing my inner gifts and, what God created me to be.
Yeah. You must have had that message inside of you when you wanted to leave that community. There must have been some feeling that you had inside that there's something greater for me. I mean, I think we women have that, from an early
absolutely. We're all born with this, I say, this empty blueprint, like, a blueprint plan for a building.
Right.
We've drawn those. My family have drawn those. And you start with this big piece, this huge sheet of paper, and you start drawing in. And so we're all born with this empty blueprint. And as soon as we're born, it's a girl, yay, or, oh, it's a girl,
Yeah.
Oh, she looks like your brother. She has uncle's ears, whatever gets said, that's the first imprint on the blueprint. And as we go through life, that blueprint starts getting filled up. But that doesn't mean that we don't have this beautiful purpose underneath. It doesn't matter what's happened to us, what's been done to us, what we've been through, what family we were born into, what color we were born, all the things. It doesn't matter, because we were born for such a great purpose. We were born with such a unique piece of the puzzle and such a plan. So I love to shine light on women and help them see their purpose and help them see that plan that's underneath all of the other stuff that can hold us back from being exactly who we're supposed to be, exactly who we were meant to be.
Absolutely. So I just want to say there's a comment here. There's no There is no one better to help someone to get out of the dark than someone that lived it. Wow, Lesley, Sanders, Rosas, I am so inspired. Before I go any further, I'm very curious about names.
Mhm.
Sanders, Rosas, what your family name is Sanders?
Yes, that's my maiden name.
Okay.
Rosas is my second husband's name.
Your second
Avi.
husband's name. Okay.
Yes, and his family originates from Mexico, so
Okay.
there could be a connection with your name.
Absolutely, absolutely. The only difference is the S. And I think, when we did our genealogy, I think we came out, originally from Portugal or something.
Okay, his origins are Spain.
Spain, yeah,
Yeah.
because we're all intermixed, Spain, Italy, and so, so
Yeah.
it's all very, very, very interesting. So, okay, so you go from here. Now you talk about color a lot.
Mhm.
Okay, and so there is a question here that says, "How did Color Me Unstoppable start?" Let's
Mhm.
answer that question for our guest here.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, I have this funny thing about color.
Mhm.
And color has just been magical for me in my life. I love painting colors, mixing colors. I have an attraction to colors. And I have had this thing ever since I was young. When I'm really close to someone, I actually assign them a color.
Yeah.
And I used to be quiet about that, private about it. And then I got curious about it. I
Mhm.
started looking into color and discovering the world of color. And it's absolutely fascinating. So then I created this program called color mapping. And I have it free on my website if you want to go check it out. It's just a small little thing. It's just like a tidbit, a beginner's
Mhm.
idea. But Color Me Unstoppable. Unstoppable was the name of my program. And
Okay.
one day I was with my coach and I was talking about color, and we were talking about what I was going to name my program. And I said, Color Me Unstoppable. And she was like, yes,
Yeah.
that's so you. Each color that we have in this world has a meaning behind it, and it also has an energetic vibration. And you can actually use color to create the mood you want, to remind you of what you want to create in your life. Like this hot pink I have on, it is the color of abundance. It's love. It has the vibration of all these other things as well. Each color just really, really creates in us, like they've done scientific testing of color, like even what color rooms to paint in hospitals and for healing people. And you would be very interested in it. You should look into color.
And Feng Shui is like that too. I remember living in California and bringing in a Feng Shui master so that they could talk about where to put things in colors and all that. So it's all a big, very thing. You're right. It's really funny. There was a time in your life, however, there was no color in your life. You explained yourself as, being a colorless person, and you have this wonderful story of your red boot story. Could you tell us your little red boot story? I just love that story.
Yeah. And as this story is, it just makes me smile because it's so me, but it also is, I share it as a metaphor as well
Okay.
in our lives. So I've left my ex-husband. I got my kids in their very first home. I mean, this is a real home where they feel safe. They're not scared every day. And I'm finally free. Like I should be so happy, but I don't feel happy. I feel like all the color's just been drained out of my life. I'm ashamed. I feel used up. And you can imagine. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
So I'm walking along Main Street and I'm just looking down at my black leather shoes. And these are the shoes that the Mennonites have you wear. You wear black shoes and black knee-high socks.
Right.
And the skirt of my Mennonite dress. It's a navy blue, homemade Mennonite dress. And I know this dress like we know our own face, right?
Right.
I've made hundreds of them every season, every year. It's the same dress. And I just think to myself, I'm feeling the feels, and I'm just like, my life is just drained of all of its color.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like, as I had that thought, I looked up, and in the shop window, there's this pair of red lace-up Converse rubber boots. I mean, I still have them here. They're ridiculous, really, but they're red. And I stop and I'm like, oh, those are so cool. And I'm like, oh, but they're red. And
You
I'm
were
not
conditioned. You were conditioned. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to wear red as a Mennonite. And then
Yeah.
I was like, but they're red and I'm not a Mennonite. So I
Yeah.
went in, and they were my exact size. I tried them on, and the moment I put those on, it was like less back. My life just became infused with color. It was the beginning of me making decisions towards more me.
Wonderful.
And
What a
being,
great,
and being free, free to be me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Debbie says, powerful, Lesley. I've heard you tell it, and it brings tears to my eyes. Wow, it does.
Yeah.
Do you, Lesley, don't get rid of those boots ever? I mean, if you have to,
Yeah.
wax them up. I mean, it's such a beautiful
They're
story.
special. Yes, they're very
Yes,
special.
so special.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait for you to tell the story. I do. I have shivers also. So it's so cool. So it's your typical. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your coaching. You call yourself a transformational coach. A lot of people call themselves transformational coach. Now, how are you different? I mean, that may be a difficult question to ask, but why would I come to you more than I would come to somebody else? I mean, do you have a special kind of ideal client? Do you deal with women in abusive relationships? Can
Yeah,
you?
I have done that. Women
Okay.
in abusive relationships. It, like you said, there's a lot of transformational coaches out there.
Mm-hmm.
There is only one me. There's
Absolutely.
only one woman that had 12 kids and left her ex with a 10-man tent and her kids. There's only one me that's taken myself from PTSD, depression, anxiety to where I am today, full of color, alive, vibrant, happy. I imagined the man that I wanted in my life. I wrote a list of everything I wanted. And when I met my husband for the first time face to face, I about fell over because he was the man in my imagination. So I've manifested the man of my dreams. He and I have built our business together. And 2 years ago, we were about to lose our house. He had to go take a job in town, and I took over the business because he has to go work, and this business has to keep going. And he's coaching me from his job, but since then him and I have built together a $4 million business in sales this year. Yes. I am a person that knows how to go from point A to point B, and I'd love to take you with me.
Wow, Lesley, that is amazing. Your story just amazes me. I mean, every time you open your mouth, it's a different story. It's so cool. It's so inspiring. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I married Augie. He was a single dad raising his 5 kids. When we got married, we put together 12 kids at home again. So I've helped him raise his 5 children.
Okay, now
it doesn't matter. The main thing is that I have a lot of tools in my toolbox, and I love to share them. It lights me up to watch someone ask me a question. I give an answer, and they're like, "Oh yeah, never thought of that. How did you know?" I'm like, "'Cause I've lived many lives in one lifetime."
You certainly have. You
Yes.
certainly have. Oh my God, that's for sure. I can't keep saying, "Oh my God, oh my God," but it's like it's like
Yeah.
I must have lived a sheltered life or something. It's like
No.
I've been all
It doesn't
over.
make me more special than you, Lucy.
No, I really do. I understand that, and I shouldn't
Yeah.
compare myself, and I don't. I try not to compare myself. Nobody should compare themselves with anybody
No.
else because we're all unique. And you've said it before. We're all unique, and we're all special in our own way.
Well, and that's the part I love to shine light on.
Yeah.
Like, you have amazing gifts. Look at you. I cannot even believe. Did you tell me you're in your 70s?
I am in my
Like,
70s.
that shocked my socks off,
Really?
first of all. And look at you, beautiful, vibrant. You could tell me, you could teach me how to be beautiful and vibrant like you are.
Oh, you're
It's
so
not
sweet.
about what we've been through. You asked me what makes me unique. My experiences make me unique.
Absolutely.
Your experiences make you unique.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
do. They do. They do. And I forgot to tell our audience that you and I are both in Shika Kana's project, which
Oh
is
my gosh.
dreams and oh
100
my God,
women.
100 women, 100 dreams. Oh my God.
Yes.
And it culminated well, Shika finally interviewed the last mom, the 100 mom.
Yes.
Were you surprised?
I was surprised, and I was so celebrating her. It
Oh my,
was her birthday.
I
We
know.
had, I don't know how many moms of the 100 moms were there, but it was
Yeah,
full.
it
We
was.
had a full room. We each spoke of our mom medicine,
Mhm.
and you could feel the energy. I mean, we're all in different places, but you could feel the energy and the excitement of this book.
Absolutely.
And it's not just a book, it's a movement.
Oh, it is a movement, and it's
Mhm.
just the beginning. I just
Yes,
feel it
it
too, and
is.
I felt it from the very beginning when Shika, I met Shika. The way I met Shika was through my program, the program
Uh-huh.
that I do, which is the Launch Lab, and
Mhm.
she's part of that program, and so
Yeah.
she launched a beautiful project. I mean, we are so proud of it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. So
unbelievable.
you coached her through that?
Well, not I personally, because I have a team
Mhm.
we're four
Yeah.
altogether, and I'm not into I call myself a business mentor, and so I'm part of that because we all started with Dean Graciosi and
Mhm.
Tony Robbins' KBB program, which
Mhm.
the KBB stands for Knowledge Business Blueprint. And then the next year when they launched and they were successful immediately
Mhm.
because between them 60 years of experience,
Yeah.
and big names. And so the next they perfected that program, and then when they relaunched, I was really honored to be one of the 200 affiliates to be chosen to promote that program out of
Mhm.
4,000. So that was a big deal for me. And so anybody who bought the program through my affiliation, then we took them and we helped them create their course and launch their program. And so now we're in our second year. But anyway, that's me. I
Well,
want
I just celebrate you. That's
to
amazing.
talk about you. I want to talk about you. So, so tell me. So, are you? I mean, there's part of me that says, "Oh my God, there's so many." Uh, I don't want to deal in the negative, but I need to know this. There's so many women in abusive relationships, all
Mhm.
kinds of abusive relationships, and they're there and they stay there for so many years. Are you going to be, specializing yourself with that woman, or mostly
Mhm.
help because this, and you know what? I belong to Kaiser in San Francisco.
Mhm.
I'm one of their members. And you go into the hospital in Kaiser, and there are letters, there are notes all over the bathroom that says, "Are you in an abusive relationship? If you are, contact us." I mean, it's rampant.
Yes. So my desire is to help any woman that desires to expand herself and move
Okay.
out of a situation she has, or maybe she can't reach her goals.
Hmm.
My heart is that the woman that's been abused, she's going to find me. I'm going to attract her in.
Right.
Am I going to exclusively work with? That's not my program. My program isn't exclusively abusive women. I mean,
Okay.
abused women. But
Okay.
my heart is for that abused woman, and I do meet them.
Okay.
The interesting thing is I have been in the hospitals and different places where I saw what you're talking
Mhm.
about. And if someone had asked me if I'm being abused, I would have said, well, no, not really,
Yeah.
because you become entrapped in the thinking that you're the problem.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you are being abused, you're not the problem.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing you could do that would justify someone mistreating you.
There's no reason.
No,
Absolutely no
no.
reason.
But
No.
that's part of the the control. is to put you in a place where you believe that you are the problem and that you might even deserve being treated. If you didn't trigger them, then. So, that's my heart is to reach women who need me, to
Absolutely.
reach women and I know that the women who need me will come. It's not just the abuse. It's not just, it's not one unique woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because women have several problems. They could be abusive. They could be, they could be depressed. They could be, I mean, they could have trouble with their weight, and that could have something with depression. It's like,
Yeah, I run locally a group called Embrace Grace, and it's for mothers with unplanned pregnancies.
Wow. Okay.
And then I help with a group called Mina, which is Mom, You're Not Alone. And those are mothers that, just need some encouragement in their life as a mom, because it's not easy.
Okay. Well, it's obvious what your mission is to empower women, is to, have them look at their situation and you can help them where they are to where they want to go. And,
absolutely,
we all have a gift. We all have a message, and we can all impact other people's lives. So definitely.
We all want to stand like Wonder Woman and say, I'm unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable. Right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your program, because you're unstoppable? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have a workshop coming up February 23rd.
February
If anyone's
23rd.
interested, just DM me
on
Facebook, and we'll get connected and
Well,
enrolled in that.
Yeah, that would be. Can you tell me how long the program is? Because some of them run for 3 months, some of them run for 6 weeks. You and I are in a 1-year program, and so
no, this is a 1-day workshop.
Oh, it's a 1-day
introductory workshop. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. It's introductory to your program. It's like
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I have my currently I'm running a 4-month Color Me Unstoppable 4-month program.
Okay. I think that's what I wanted to
The workshop is great because it helps you to know who I am, what I'm about. It helps me to get to know you and see if it's a good fit. And just wonderful.
Well, would you do me a favor after this? Send me the information so that I can post it for you and send it to everybody I know, because there's lots of women that I know that could certainly use your services and your talent and your gift for sure. Can you tell me? Let's talk a little bit about the book, because we haven't.
Which book?
Which? Oh, you have to.
I have.
I think
When Love Speaks here.
When Love Speaks, right?
And
tell us a little bit about that.
In here, infusing your life with color. This just came. I wrote it down. This was just the Lifestyles Weekly. Just suggested this for gifts for Valentine's Day.
Oh, wonderful!
You can get it. You can purchase yours on Amazon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. And that came. There are like 44 authors in that book, right?
Yeah. There's 44 individual stories, and these are stories that are going to touch your heart and inspire you. And that was the goal of the book, was to reach others through story. We all have our unique story, right? And
yours is in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine's in there. So a little bit of it. The book is on its way. I'm writing. So maybe excited about the story.
Yeah. Let me see the book again so we can show our audience. It's called When Love Speaks. And if you want a good, Valentine present, that's perfect. It talks about love. So that's it. That's what February 14th is all about. So what a great it came out just in time. That's for sure. Now you said which book? So
well, we have the 100 mothers, 100.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm saying it wrong. 100 women, 100 portraits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have that. I don't know. I think that's supposed to come maybe in March.
In March.
Okay.
It's on its way. Yeah. So let me tell you. So let me ask you, what's next for you, Lesley? So much has happened
Oh,
so far.
oh, well, I have twin granddaughters being born
Oh,
soon.
grandma already. Oh
That- oh
my
yeah, it'll be number 16 and 17th of my grandchildren.
God.
And but what's next for me in my life as pertains to business and everything is I am this year, my goal is to write my life story, and I'm beginning that, and so I'm really excited to share that. My vision is that it will be a movie.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
I have a plan. I have a plan that my sisters, in my camaradas group will be in my movie,
Oh my,
as background people or something. We're going to
oh my
do
God,
it.
that gives me shivers. How wonderful. That is such a wonderful,
Yeah.
it would make a fabulous movie. I mean, just
Yes.
unbelievable.
Yes,
Unbelievable.
it
Oh my
will.
God. Leslie, is there anything that we haven't touched upon? I mean, there's just so much. I would love to ask this question. What's a typical day look like for you? I mean, can you just kind of,
Oh my goodness. Well, right now I have full time. I have my 15-year-old and 17-year-old still at home.
mhm,
And part-time we have Augie's two youngest that come. But it just was a few years ago that I would get up every morning and make 16 sandwiches for lunch, because the boys had sports, and so they'd need two
right,
sandwiches. I mean, my counter, I have a very little kitchen for a big family. My
right.
counter would just be covered with sandwiches. I always get up in the morning, start the laundry, because when all the kids were home, laundry was a constant thing. It
Absolutely.
was my life. And, it's just, I can't in a nutshell tell you what hour to hour, day to day is, but a lot of driving kids to and from sports. My
Mhm,
husband and I were very involved in football. So
mhm.
he ended up being the coach, because we had like 7 boys playing and 6 girls as cheerleader. So I coached the cheerleaders and
Oh,
he
that's
coached the football players. And so now we're in a state in our life where we're spending more time with grandchildren,
mhm.
adult children, and the 2 that are left at home full time. And we look forward to. I mean, my 11th son is graduating from high school, and my youngest is a freshman. So it isn't many more years, and we'll
That's
have
wonderful,
an
yeah.
empty nest.
An empty nest. Can you
Yeah,
imagine? I mean, I bet you can't even imagine what that would be like.
I can't. And I started when I was 18 as a
Mhm,
mother, and
mhm.
here I am, 55, and we still have 2 at home.
Oh, you look fabulous. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
Well,
God.
I'm gonna miss it. I love having teenagers.
I
It's
mean, yeah,
so
yeah.
much
Do
fun.
you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Somebody said that I want to find that comment that said, "Oh, let me see if I can find it." Oh, there it is. This is Bravo, and you look like you're 19 years old, Lesley. Gorgeous, gorgeous,
Thank you so much. You might need your eyes examined.
gorgeous. That is Debbie.
But
That
thank
is
you. I just
that is.
told a friend of mine, I said, it's so strange. She's having her birthday. So we were talking age, and I said, I just feel like I'm in my 20s still.
Yeah.
And I don't mind being my age because I feel fabulous,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I know exactly what you mean because I feel the same way.
Hmm.
You know, people have to tell me how old I am. I'm going, I've never focused on my age, but
Yeah.
everybody seems to be focusing on my age, but I don't feel my age. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have so much energy and vibrancy, and
Hmm.
forget it. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God. So, so if somebody wants to contact you, Lesley, I have down below that you're on Instagram, calling me unstoppable on Facebook, right? And then
Yes.
be just be tribe at gmail.com,
Hmm.
or they can just message you also, Lesley Rosas .com. Is there anything that we didn't touch upon that you would like to mention? Oh, here's a question I want to ask you. You know, I do these weekly interviews to encourage mostly women,
Yeah.
because women have a single women over 60, who are about to retire, retiring, and don't know where to start or whom to trust. What message would you have for those women?
Where to start for what?
For an online business, supposing
Oh,
they
well,
need, that's a good question. Where to
yeah,
start?
that's a really good question. I believe that when women, connect with other women, that's where we rise. We transform, we rise. We can establish who we are and accomplish so much more. So I would highly recommend a good coaching program for anybody, whether you're going to, a coach should have a coach. I have a coach. You have a coach.
Absolutely.
So start with a coach. If you have a coach, then just start with the next thing that gives you a lot of fear.
That would be my Go Live challenge. Let's start.
Yeah, there you go. Lucy's Go Live challenge.
Oh my
Step
God.
into your fear, because fear is in the same vibration as excitement.
Right.
And all you must do is shift that fear and say, instead of saying, oh, I'm so scared, my stomach feels, I'm shaking, say, I'm so excited. And when you do that, it changes, it shifts that. It's the same energy. It's the same exact emotional, what am I thinking? Endorphin. You shift it. And then you can do so much. You can accomplish so much. All you have to do is believe.
Well, folks, you have one courageous woman here. So if you have any fear, this is the person to contact, because she had a lot of fear, but boy, did she, transform herself out of there and the opposite of fear is faith. And so, we're giving you faith that things can be better. All you really need is to reach out to somebody, and somebody will take your hand and, walk you through it. So, Lesley, I want to thank you for your time, dear. It's been
Thank you,
wonderful.
Lucy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Down below, in the comments down below, I will put how to reach you. Please keep me posted on your master class, I think you call it, or that's coming up soon. And I will post that too. And to my audience, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Remember that we have weekly interviews on Thursday, but next Thursday, there won't be an interview because there is an immersion of one of my mentors. And so I will be doing that. But in 2 weeks, join me for our next awesome guest on our weekly Thursday interviews. So thank you again, Lesley. Thank you, everybody. And bye-bye for now.
Bye.